Hi, good morning kids. Welcome back to our science class. Today, I will discuss to you new learning, a learning that make sense. Today, I will discuss to you about the menstrual cycle. Relax, enjoy watching because in few moments you will learn something new about yourselves. Okay, listen carefully as I discuss to you the menstrual cycle. Puberty is the process of body changes that causes a child's body to become capable of reproduction. Every adolescent boys and girls who is about to enter puberty should be taught or should know the basic medical definition of menstruation, and that is a normal process that females go through as their body prepares themselves for potential pregnancy. It is a part of the monthly menstrual cycle that occurs in the female reproductive system that makes pregnancy possible. Menstruation is a process that occurs in a woman. This is the regular discharging of blood and other materials from the lining of the uterus and occurs on a 1 month interval from puberty until menopause, except during pregnancy. This lasts for about 3 to 5 days. Okay kids, let's continue learning. The phases of menstrual cycle. Menstrual phase or menstruation. This commonly referred to as period or the woman's monthly bleeding. The first menstrual bleeding of a woman is called menarche. It signals the possibility of getting pregnant. Menstrual blood, known as menses, is shed from the thickened lining of the uterus known as endometrium. Menstrual blood from the uterus passes through the cervix to the vagina and out through the vaginal opening. This fluid may be bright red, light pink, or even brown. During menstruation, some eggs begin to mature in the ovaries. As the egg develops, the surrounding cells release the estrogen hormones into the bloodstream. This is the time when cramping and abdominal pains occur. The contraction of the uterine and the abdominal muscles that help in expelling the menstrual fluid also causes the cramps to be felt. There are also different types of menstrual disorder that can be felt during menstruation. First is the dysmenorrhea, which is the medical term for painful menstrual period which are caused by uterine contraction. It has two types, the primary and secondary. Primary dysmenorrhea is a common menstrual cramps that in the occurrence, while secondary dysmenorrhea result from reproductive system distortion. Second is the menorrhagia, that is the prolonged and excessively heavy menstrual bleeding as regular menstrual cycle intervals. The third is oligomenorrhea, which is defined irregular and inconsistent menstrual fluid flow in a woman. It is also about missing a period or occasional irregularity of menstrual cycle. Lastly is the polymenoria, which is a term used to describe a menstrual cycle that is shorter than 21 days. It is a form of abnormal uterine bleeding. For some women, A shorter cycle length may just be normal, but others it can be caused by certain medical condition. Women with polymenoria may also find that their periods are irregular or unpredictable. Follicular phase, day 1 to 13. This phase also starts on the first day of menstruation, but it ends up to the 13th day of the menstrual cycle. In this phase, the lining of the uterus starts to grow or proliferate due to hormone known as estrogen. As the estrogen level increases, menstrual bleeding stops and the lining of the uterus thickens in preparation for receiving a fertilized egg. The increase in estrogen also causes the pituitary gland to release a hormone that travels to the ovaries, stimulates the egg cells in the ovaries to grow, and causes the most matured egg to be released. One of these egg cells starts to mature to a sac-like structure called follicle. Each follicle contains an egg. It takes 13 days for the egg cell to reach maturity. As the egg cells matures, each follicle secretes hormones stimulating the uterus to develop a lining of a blood vessels and soft tissue called endometrium. The endometrium starts to develop to receive the fertilized egg. Late in the follicular phase, only a single follicle will release an egg. The ovulation phase, day 14. In the regular 28 days menstrual cycle, the ovulation usually occurs on the day 14. The pituitary gland secretes a hormone that causes the ovary to release the matured egg cell. The released egg cell is swept into the fallopian tube by a cilia of a fimbriae. Fimbriae are finger-like projections located at the end of the fallopian tube close to the ovaries, and the cilia are slender hair-like projections on each fibria. When a matured egg, ovum, is released from the ovarian follicle to the nearest fallopian tube during the menstrual cycle, ovulation occurs. As the egg moves down the fallopian tube for several days, the lining of the uterus continues to grow thicker and thicker. The egg then travels into the uterus. It takes about 3 to 4 days for the egg to travel towards the uterus. If fertilization is to occur, it must happen within 24 hours of ovulation or the egg's life lapses. The luteal phase, day 15 to 28. This phase starts on the 15th day and lasts up to the end of the cycle. After the ovulation occurs, the follicle develops into a hormone-producing structure called the corpus luteum. This is the yellow structure in the ovary that produces estrogen and a large amount of progesterone. This hormone signals the uterus to thicken. The wall of the uterus thickens with many blood vessels to provide nutrients for the coming baby if in case of sperm fertilizes the egg. If the egg is not fertilized, the thickening of the uterus breaks down and comes out of the body through menstruation. Then the menstrual cycle repeats itself. For females who have normal period, the cycle is repeated 4 weeks or 28 days. However, the cycle varies and is affected by a lot of factors. Okay kids, that ends our lesson for today. To know whether you understand our lesson for today, continue answering the different activities in your module. I hope you learn a lot in our discussion. Good luck, and I hope to see you again on the next video lesson. Remember to take care always, and God love us too.